when you get to be empowered as a woman, man, or they, that means you accept the inner child, and that means that you're emotionally, mentally, and physically aware. So we are not bringing our moods to each other, but we are talking, okay? So the essence of you is love. The essence of me is love, and we have all of those basic human emotions, but we have people who are self-regulating, they're self-aware, and that's with one good childhood trauma therapist, good personality disorder therapist, good attachment therapist, good all of it. And that's because also people are wanting to bring forth their inner world. So the authentic self doesn't project the mantles. Nope, no mantles here, okay? So no, I'm this, you have to respect what I am. That's not, no. What actually happens here is you might have reactivity to something, and I will feel differently about it, and we'll tease about it, and there you go. So you can get angry for some things, I'll smile at other things, and then we accept each other and differences, and we're emotionally and mentally mature about it. And so we're not like, oh, but they don't like things the way I like them. Okay, so that's a very clear example, hopefully. Everyone has a 0-1-year-old, and that's where we all can take care and note of, okay, it's cool. We don't have to feel life the same way. We don't have to think of topics the same way. We don't have to do anything the same way. It's called I'm a differentiated self, and so are you. And as you embody the essence of you, this is what's going to happen, is you're going to be seen by others, those others who are their own guitar string, and they like to vibe with different guitar strings. And so together, because we love, respect, and accept that we have political, religious, all of it, you know, how to do things, how not to do things, keeping doors open, doors locked, all these cultural differences are a big thing for me. I'm bicultural. So I can accept my Anglo-Saxon and American culture, my Neapolitan, Southern Italian culture. I'm not as familiar with the Northerners, but they seem to be as passionate, even though I'm going to say South is my favorite right here. Naples, Italy is one of my favorite places, and not so much. Above Rome, they get different. And my friends that go there, you can see the face. So yeah, some people say, oh, but this is what it's called to have. I have preferences. I'm not hiding them. I'm not going to say anything is better or worse, because see, that's for teenagers to do who don't understand. No, it's not better or worse. Some of us like the South more, others don't. Others like the North, no. Others like other countries more. Okay, but our facial expressions, they can share how we feel inside. And here's where sometimes though people say, no, I'm not feeling that. And so they will tell you something different than what you're seeing. And if you're a person who's empowered, you'll respect that and you'll hear what they say. Even if you think it might not be true, you don't make assumptions. Okay, you don't make an assumption based on your own emotion and your own thought. And that's the part that is different. An empowered woman, man, or they might not like something, they might not appreciate it at all, they will make a face about it, but they will say, this is not meaning that, it's just something, leave it alone. You leave it alone, why? Because that's what grown-ups can do. Because we don't have rumination in the brain, because we don't have low self-esteem. You have your prefrontal cortex on, you know that if there's differences and there's spaces, there's nothing you need to do about it. So you feel good here because your body is safe to be yourself, and you're letting another person be their self, and you're minding your own business because we don't live the movies. So here's where when I see people going around, they're chit-chatting about aspects in a way as if they're twin flames, soulmates, people from their oversoul. You know, when you hear the 4D, they're excogitating something against you. Okay, those are people who make me think of the movie Mean Girls. Okay, and that's where we're going to leave it. So mantles are clear. They continue to make up negative stories in their brain as they have fantasies and imagination, and they don't choose to do themselves and then to be themselves with the people who are themselves. We get to do the essence of us, and so when you are welcomed with who you are and you don't have people chit-chatting behind the scenes, you're going to know what real relationships are, is what I'm going to say. Okay, real relationships. Why? Because when you're your authentic self your entire life, you know when you get real relationships. It's called, wow, I get to be the fun everything all the time. Okay, so when you're a mystic, you get to, again, talk about all that stuff that is mystic, have a good time, you get to tease, and you get to also explore. So we get to be safe havens and secure bases with other people. Those are secure attachment relationships. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to build a home necessarily, but you know that you can support each other when you are in emotional distress, and you're also curious about each other's endeavors. Okay, so that's active and consistent. An empowered woman and man or they knows what actively it means to build a secure attachment relationship, which is why we don't go around with sagas or dramas with any of our oversoul. And so here's where twin flame is something real. A divine feminine in the 5D mystic plane will not be needing a coach to guide them through anything, because a divine feminine of the 5D mystic plane doesn't use a rule book. They're their own inner child, so they know they're human, number one. And so they're going to bring their emotional plane and their mental plane to their prefrontal cortex and get in the restorative embodiment, which is your mammalian heritage, and that enlightenment soul age group, the human way. Here's where it is. You get to your wholeness by working through whatever comes up. And that's where in your relationship, that's why you keep the lines of communication open. So I know that they talk about, sagas and dramas and charges, and they treat that entire relationship as if it's a mathematical equation. In fact, we have some of them who try to prove. And what I love about proving is that it's a teenager who needs to prove something. And so this is the part. Mantles, they're on Elsa's journey. They want to be a superhero, and they have usually a mission. Okay, our mission here is to inspire your human potential. You get to be you, I get to be me. And so the essence of me is seen by you. You're seen by me and by others. And we get to build a tribe of the human love narrative. We're always vibing to get the 0-1-year-old of all people up to speed. So when you become securely attached for the polyamory community, it's easy to have compersion and not to be in any of that, which is, I've seen it, okay? Read Polysecure, it's a great book, and that way you can understand how your body and your 0-1-year-old work. And on that, we'll put that one to the side. We get to accept and respect that people have different opinions. So, 3D, they don't like yoga, they don't like polyamory, they don't like our different pronouns, they don't like anything. They're from the ancient times. 4D, they're busy being superheroes. They got a bunch of stuff going on. Okay, with that being said, so the essence of you is welcomed by, first of all, you. You say, I'm worthy, I'm enough, I'm an inner child, I'm bringing my adult to the forefront, and you don't bring in those moods, you bring in vulnerability. And so vulnerability means that when another sees me, they will want me to be enjoying myself with them. And so they won't be doing any of that reactivity. And as we close on out, reactivity is where, let's say you and I are having an interaction, you're having a really bad day, and you make a snarky comment. And I'm letting you know that I'm not really following, but you keep on being snarky, if you will. I'm going to know that you are in yellow or red, as our lovely Stephen Porges shares. So you're in your biological rudeness, and you're in a maladaptive child behavior, adaptive child, because your nervous system is also in a safety behavior. So you're having a day. You don't know how to be consciously aware of yourself and to say, you know what, I'm having a day. So before you keep going, and that instead is where you have an empowered, differentiated self person who says, I'm having a day, and since I know where this is going to go, because we know each other and we're having a good time and we're people that are seeing each other as we are, you feel felt, you feel seen. I know how to soothe your nervous system because I know what works to help you keep that laughter so you can stay safe and secure with me. I'm going to know how to say, let's stop here, because soothing is not going to happen today. Tangoing is not going to happen right now. What's going to happen is something I don't want to have happen. And that's a person who's aware of another human being, which is why they're a spirituality process, because they care and they're connected and they have meaning based on another person's emotions. So they have space to be aware of themselves and then another human being's heart. And I don't want to have another person's heart be upset, because they don't have to be upset. I'm vibing in this. They're not vibing in this. I'm not going to vibe with what their mind wants to tell me right now. I'm going to just shut it down now, and I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back later. I'll know. So when you're aware of your moods and yourself, you know how to tango and not step on anyone's toes. So the essence of you gets seen by others when they're welcoming themselves and you're welcoming them. That's why loving yourself first is what is needed, because we are all flawed and imperfect. So we all will have moods, we all will have preferences, we all will have ways we think and not think. It's when you're open to differences of opinions and ways of thinking and feeling, and all of it to the extreme of the whole opposite, that you're saying, yeah, but that's another person and I'm another person. So we accept, respect, and love each other. And it's amazing when the essence of you is welcomed by other. I can share more. I will. In the meantime, tune in, like, subscribe.